Welcome to Talk That Talk with Lovely, the hostess. Hey guys, it's Talk That Talk with Lovely, the hostess, and we are back with a new episode, of course, and we are going to be talking about Trinidad Carnival in general. Right now, we are talking about Trinidad Carnival. I'm giving you guys my full Trinidad experience. If you guys saw my last video about the horrible experience that I had with the makeup artist, which was not from Trinidad, I want to make sure that was very clear. She was not from Trinidad. She was from some St. Vincent or some other island, right? Anyways, moving on from that drama, and it is what it is. We are talking about the whole aspect of Trinidad Carnival. Now, the real question is, at the end, I will tell you, will I do Trinidad Carnival again? You're going to have to watch this whole video in order for you to know if I will be doing Trinidad Carnival again, or if I even recommend it to people like myself who have my mentality or my personality, or just looking for Carnival in general, if it's something that I would recommend, out there for people to do. Right? So let's get right into it, and let's talk about TT Carnival, Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. I haven't been to Tobago yet. I was trying to go to Tobago while I was in Trinidad. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and I was tired. And Trinidad Carnival took place in February, guys. I am only now doing the video now because your girl has been busy, and I have just been trying to put out all this content so I can move on, because after Trinidad Carnival, my next review will be based off of Atlanta Carnival, which I'm doing next, and then we go back to, after Atlanta, we have St. Lucia, then we have Barbados. It's going to be my first time ever doing Barbados crop over, and then we have Miami, and then I go to Dubai for my birthday. So all my reviews will be based of the events that I go to in Atlanta. As I said, after Trinidad review, my next review is going to be based off Atlanta experience. It's going to be my first Atlanta Carnival, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a full rundown of all the events that I went to, what I did not do, what I learned. I'll be working with Mad Colors for Carnival, so I'll be sewing for them. I'm not bringing in a group, as in a traveling group, to Atlanta. I am only just going there to do my traveling seamstress part of my career, that I created for myself, and I'm a traveling seamstress for those who didn't know. All right, so your good girl will be working with Mad Colors in Atlanta and doing nip and tucks and alterations on costumes, okay, during distribution hours. And I'm also bringing 2 camera guys that's going to be working alongside me and Mad Colors to capture all the content throughout the whole carnival experience. And guess who's going to be there on the ground, basically interviewing people while we celebrate and enjoy Atlanta's Carnival? Of course, your one and only Lovely, the hostess. All right, I'll be having my mic. I'll be going around looking for you guys and asking you some fun questions about Atlanta Carnival, and Carnival in general, or just traveling in general. Okay, so I can't wait to see you guys. Yes, you on the road in Atlanta. And if you haven't decided if you wanted to go to Atlanta yet, guys, go and look at my content. If you need some help, I got you. All right, go and look at my content on Lovely's Travel Instagram page and Lovely's Travel on TikTok. All right, so for some information on Carnival in general, anything related to what you want to do, where you want to go, events to do, itineraries. I create itineraries as well. So whatever you're looking for, hopefully you can find it on either my Instagram or my TikTok page. All right, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to helping you, and I look forward to jamming with you, hearing your questions, and I look forward to answering those questions for you. And hopefully this whole experience can be very informative to those who want to do Carnival and don't know where to start. I got you covered. All right, guys, back to the Trinidad Carnival experience. This was my first time ever doing Trinidad Carnival, and the 2025 experience was mixed emotions for me. It was kind of feeling, because a few things that happened to me on the trip that kind of had me thinking oh, okay, what is really going on here, right? Okay, so the first thing, I want to give a big shout out to our taxi, Pierre, our taxi driver. He was recommended by somebody that I knew from Trinidad, and he gave me Pierre's information. And Pierre, I'm going to put his information, of course, in my video, because, I got to big up the big people, the people who do me justice and always, deliver when it comes to good service, right? Good customer service. So big up to Pierre, our taxi driver. He did his big one, and he made sure he took good care of us from the beginning all the way to the end, okay? Where we were staying, it was kind of a mixed kind of a disaster in a little bit. More for me, not for my clients, because my clients did not know anything about what was going on in the back scene of the situation of the accommodation. Of course, as a travel agent, a travel host, a traveling concierge, basically providing traveling services, you never let your clients see you sweat. You never let your clients know when something is happening behind closed doors that really have nothing to do with them. And this is why I had said this in my last video. I hate the fact, and I hate using the word hate, but I hate the fact that people do not have loyalty or do not have boundaries or do not understand. I am the one who's booking you. My clients are not booking you. You have nothing to say to my clients. I paid you, you communicated with me, everything goes through me. So if you have a situation, you talk to me, never to my clients, okay? Understand? I signed the agreement with you, I signed the contract with you. It was Lovely's Travel. It wasn't Sam, it wasn't Peter, it wasn't Paul, okay? It was Lovely's Travel. So with that being said, I had a couple of situations that happened behind closed doors. The lady basically, I paid her. Then when I got there, she basically wanted more money because she said one of the rooms that I had was supposed to initially have 6 people, but it didn't have 6 people. But she gave me the price, right? She gave me the price of the accommodation. And I told her, if I have 6 people, of course I'll pay for 6 people. But if I don't have 6 people, I can't pay for 6 people. So let me just give you guys a quick rundown of that situation. Let's say you give me a room for $250 a night. And that's based on double occupancy, right? As the owner, the property manager, you told me that every extra person that I add to the room is going to be $54 per night per person. Great. However, when you sent me the invoice and you sent me the agreement, the accommodation agreement, you put it in the agreement that the room is based on double occupancy, $250. Every extra person is going to be $54 per night per person. Exactly what the numbers was giving, but I'm just giving random numbers because of course my agreement was my agreement, and I'm not gonna sit here and discuss every single detail when it comes to like personal information, right? So I'm just giving you guys random numbers. I'm just using them as an example. So with that being said, I only have 3 people in the room, meaning I'm paying you $250, right, per night for the room based on double occupancy. However, you told me that the room can hold up to 7 people. You have a king bed, you have 3 beds in there, etc., etc. And that's what it is. This bed's already in the room. You're not buying beds to add to the room for me. These beds are actually in the room already. Keep that in mind while I continue. Now, I paid you your double occupancy, and I paid you the $54 per night per person for the extra person. Because like I said, the room ended up having 3 people, not 7, right? Or not 6. So I'm only going to be paying you for double occupancy plus the extra person. Now, if I end up adding more people into the room, where we do reach to having 6 people, 7 people, I'm going to pay you $54 per night per person for every extra person, right? That was the deal. And she basically was like, no, I'm losing money. You were supposed to have 6 people, etc. And I have to pay for all 6 people. I said, no. When you gave me the invoice and you gave me the agreement, you said double occupancy is this, every extra person is this. You didn't give me a full price just for the room only. So this is where I was like, okay, yeah, we're not doing that. So I'm not paying you no more. Yeah, the lady started making noise. She got angry. She said, oh, I'm trying to basically cut corners and all kind of stuff and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm going to get the police on you. I said, well, when you go and get the police, just please, when you get the police, bring them. And when you bring them, bring the agreement and the contract that we signed, that we basically have, right? Because I want to see what they understood. And before all of that, too, I actually sent it to a few people because I like to make sure that I'm, like, not losing it, right? And I'm, like, not seeing things, or I'm not the only one thinking that I'm right, and I'm not. So I sent it to a few people, and they checked it. And I was like, yeah, lovely, what you said is correct. What she put on the invoice is correct. She said this, and this is what you were supposed to pay, and that's it. I was like, okay, cool. So I stand my ground. Yeah, so I stand my ground. Then she messaged me and said, oh, I have 6 to 7 people, and you only have 3 people in the room. I'm going to charge you for the beds. I'm like, well, if you're going to charge me for the beds, just come and take the beds that we don't need. Then we kind of have it fair, right? Am I wrong? You want to charge me for the beds. First, you want to charge me for the extra people, which I don't have. Then you want to charge me for the beds. I'm like, okay, well, cool, come and take the beds. Then she decided she's not going to come and take the beds because it's going to be too much work for her. Of course it's going to be too much work for you. The room came with the beds already. So for you to get somebody, pay them to come to the villa and remove the beds, is going to cost you money. So why are we going through this? So basically, that was a situation. That was one of the situations that kind of started off in a shaky thing for me. And again, like I said, my clients never knew about this. I'm sharing this now because again, this is part of my Trinidad experience. So because it's part of my Trinidad experience, I am sharing it. I'm not going into too much details. However, this is what happened. And from that point, she never brought the police. I did pay her all the money that I was supposed to pay her. Of course, I did not give her the $54 for the extra people that I did not have. I did let her know if I do get extra people to basically fill the room or fill the beds, I'll pay her for it. But otherwise than that, I only have 3 people. I'm only paying you for 3 people. Simple. And I paid her, got my receipt, and we moved on from that. Never saw her because she was the one that was dealing with the money and everything, but her uncle or whatever was the one who was like staying at the accommodation, so she wasn't staying at the accommodation. So I never saw her after I paid her. I paid everything. That was fine, right? Moving forward. Now the next thing that happened, which was my co-host I was working with or collaborating with, we had a situation where I was supposed to get a free costume from Yuma, which was one of the sections in Yuma, and I did not get my free costume due to the fact of some miscommunication. I will say that because I was not there to say who said what and who said this. I can only go off of, and I'm not gonna call who the person is because I want to just keep it as that. Again, this is part of my Trinidad experience, so I'm going to talk about it because it's part of my Trinidad experience. I didn't get my costume that I was supposed to get. When we called the band, they said, oh, she said, which is my co-host, said remove me from that list. She's no longer working with me, so remove my name from the list. She's saying that's not what she said, and she's basically giving me the whole rundown of what happened. Again, I do not know because I trusted her to deal with that costume situation. Usually when I do my trips and I get a free costume, I do it with the whole entire band, meaning whatever costume that they have, they give me one. She wanted to do a particular section, which I had no problem with. We spoke about it, we moved on, we agreed. I was supposed to actually sew for them, where I was supposed to provide my tailoring service. Spoke to the particular section that me and her was working with, and initially spoke to them about sewing for them, and they decided that they want, okay, so at the beginning they wanted me to sew and still bring in like 10 people, right, to be able to get the free costume. And I told them I don't do that. I don't do both. I could do one or the other, but I can't do both. I can't bring you 10 people and still sew for you for free, no. And I don't sew for free. I think people misunderstand that I don't sew for free. I sew at a discounted rate. So that was also something else. Like I would, like if you give me a free costume and you're working with me, we're collaborating, I give you a discounted rate. Let's say somebody was charging you $20, I'll charge you $15, $10, per item, per person, etc. Right? Into the details. I went ahead and decided, okay, what, we could only do one or the other. They're like, okay, cool, don't do the sewing part, just bring in the 10 people, which me and her initially went ahead and we brought in our people, we did our part. If we didn't have enough people, that would have been up to them to tell us that, hey, we didn't have enough people, so this is what's going to happen. So I didn't get my costume. I had to end up buying a costume. The co-host that I was working with offered to give me some of the money for the costume. And again, I did not ask her. Just want to make sure that you guys know that I did not ask her to pay for anything. I was basically on mute the whole entire time between the situation because I was kind of lost as in what's really happening. And I didn't want to say something I would have regret. I also just didn't want to react to the whole situation because the way I was feeling, if I had to show it and say and act out of how I was feeling, it probably would have been a very bad ending for all of us. And I just decided to kind of just keep it professional. I just left it at that. I really went, like I said, I really went on mute. For people who know me, knows I love to talk, love to, express myself, love to laugh. I'm a very bubbly, open person. I really don't have much as in like, I don't have a stink attitude or anything like that. I'm really cool, really chill, right? And I dealt with that really, really, with grace. I dealt with that with grace and I just left it alone. I did end up trying to get a costume. Like I said, when I ended up getting a costume, it was way above the budget. And she decided to give me some of the money to go towards the costume. Again, I will not go into details on how much that was given and etc. So that was the second situation that happened to me. That kind of put me off at like in a situation like what the heck, right? I think that was the only 2 things. The third thing was the makeup artist. That was the 3 things that was like, that kind of put me in a mood like, okay, Trinidad, I don't know. You giving me a little bad taste, a little bad stench. You know what I'm saying? Do I really want to do Trinidad again? And again, I'm not going to blame Trinidad. It was just my first time doing Trinidad and just the fact that I went through those things in Trinidad. So if I went through those things in Barbados, if I went through those things in St. Martin, it would have been the same thing. I would have came on here and be like, hey guys, this is the experience that I had in St. Martin. So again, this is not a bashing. This is not me saying that Trinidad is not amazing and great. Trinidad was amazing and great. I had a great time in Trinidad, okay? Great time in Trinidad. Oh, our chef, our cook, okay? Our chef was amazing. She was amazing, and she was Trinidadian. And her food was amazing, okay? And her customer service was top tier, okay? And our photographer, also amazing. I'm going to drop the information in this video. All right. Our photographer was not from Trinidad. He's actually from Saint Martin on the French side. I booked him because I knew him personally, and he came to our villa and did a photo shoot, and everything was amazing. Okay. My boy came through and he did what he had to do. All right. So my only issues that I had was with three things, like I said, which was the villa manager. Then we had the situation with my co-host with me not getting my costume and have to end up paying for a costume, and then the makeup artist. Things that was literally out of my control. So, but again, I dealt with them with grace. If I didn't speak about them, a lot of you wouldn't even know. And then, of course, a lot of my clients was very calm, very supportive. Smooth, as in my itinerary, what we had planned, what was going on. Everything else was kind of okay, right? Oh, this is another thing that I want to mention when it came to Trinidad Carnival. I think it was okay, so now this is the overall experience of Trinidad Carnival itself, meaning my experience with my costume, the vibe, the music, etc. Trinidad Carnival, beautiful. Oh my God, the women, the body that you guys have on you. Oh my goodness. Like you guys don't eat or what? Anyways, they sexy bad. Okay, now my thing is that this year the music, or I don't know if it's like that every year, but I never really pay attention too much into soca until I went to Trinidad Carnival. And I have to say this, I love soca music. I just never digged into it this deeply, as in to realize how slow paced soca music is. So for me, as a person on the road who wants to get on bad, and you know, and this is me being from Dominica, okay? This is my background. This is my experience. Being from Dominica, wilding out in our music, our bouillon hot, our bouillon is nasty, our bouillon is heat, you know, our bouillon is throw ass back and, you know, and get on. So for me, moving from that, and then also with Dennery, with St. Lucia, because I used to live in St. Lucia, with my Dennery music and my bouillon music, and you mix that, and yeah, and you have your Jamaican dancehall. All right, that's me. Okay, those three kind of music, it's me. I'm not too big of a hip-hop person, and that's not a carnival thing, so we're not even going to talk about it. But anyways, I'm more of a, you know, bouillon, Dennery, and my dancehall. So for soca, which I love soca, I have more soca on my phone than I have bouillon and anything else, most likely. Because I would jam to those things while I'm driving. I would jam and listen to those music while I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? But for carnival, it wasn't for me. That's just it. It wasn't for me for carnival, as in to throw ass and get on bad and, you know, wind up and thing. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And as much as I love soca, once again, I really do love, I would say, more of a fast-paced music, you know. And I love the fact that they were keeping the tradition of playing their music really highly, you know, going. Nothing wrong with that. A little mixture would be great, but if they don't want to do it, that's totally fine. I understand. But it would be really nice that the fact that now a lot of us Caribbean individuals coming from other Caribbean islands wants to visit Trinidad and experience Trinidad, it would be nice if we were included. That's just what it is. I see that they're going really hard when it comes to the bouillon, and I love that. Thank you so much. And I would love to see more of it. That's just basically what I have to say when it comes to the music and the road experience. It was just too slow paced for me. Food was great. The drink truck was great. I think they had everything that I would think of I would have wanted. They didn't run out of water. They didn't run out of juice. They didn't run out of chaser. They didn't run out of rum. They didn't run out on anything. You know, most carnivals, they always like to be running out of things. They didn't run out of anything, okay? Trinidad didn't run out of anything from my experience, okay? They had everything coming. And as for ice, everything, they had it. You understand? They had it. The food stop, amazing. Best, most organized, most, I don't even know how to say it. It was luxury, it was vibe, it was everything. From the sitting area to the lines to where you had to get your food to the, whew, Jesus. They just had it all, okay? And from how they decorate their trucks, that's where I was mostly impressed. They decorated their trucks really nice. The banners was not like, you know, messy. It wasn't like opened out where you could see all the speakers and stuff. It was just, and I would just say other Caribbean islands, I'm not going to call no names, All right, learn from them. Learn from them, babes, because boy, that truck was top tier. Okay, it made me want to be on a truck. Okay, and I never really cared about being on no truck. What in Trinidad? Me want to be on a truck. If I go back to Trinidad, I want to be on a truck. My thing was, whew, for those who do not know this, please get this into your head. If you and your friends is not jumping in the same band, in the same, section band, like if you in humor and your friends is in spirit, you ain't gonna see a friend until the carnival done. All right, you ain't gonna see a friend until it done. Because let me tell you something, you ain't gonna be able to find your friend. They have too many damn trucks on the road, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but damn it, you will not be able to find your friend. So you better forget that you even had that friend, and all you better make a meeting spot so you guys can do a time and a meeting spot where you guys are gonna meet when you guys are done. And if you guys gonna get drunk and wasted and forget and don't know where to go, that's on you. Because it's not easy to find your people after you're done. And that's one of the situations that we had in my group, because I myself was my first time doing it. So hey, little smart lovely, thought everybody is gonna be in the same area after we done. That was not the case. Okay, that was not the case. We couldn't find each other. We made a meeting spot for those who was able to meet there, met there. For those who couldn't meet there, we had to go and find them and look for them. And it was a mess. It was a mess because again, I wasn't aware. Okay, I wasn't aware. They wasn't aware. Guys, okay, I can only speak about what happened for me. So if we all had crossed that same stage, well, we still couldn't find each other because there was so much people. So like I said, if you guys are going to use pin a location, if you guys are going to use a building, the color, the name, the street name, try and do that so that you guys can meet, because you will spend hours looking for your friends. And let me tell you something. For a person like me, when I'm done, I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done. Meaning when I'm tired, I am tired. Like I don't want to do nothing else but get in my taxi and go home. Everybody is different. So when you do group trips, you need to have patience. And if you want to do a group trip where you want to drink, you want to get bad, you want to get wasted, you want to do whatever, you have to understand, you have to take the responsibility to find your way home. So will I be doing Trinidad Carnival again? No, I will not be doing Trinidad Carnival again. However, if you are looking to do Trinidad Carnival, I do recommend that these are a few things that you get to know. Trinidad Carnival is really, really expensive, and I feel like they are ripping people off in so many ways, as in from the accommodation, the prices of the accommodation, the prices of certain things is so expensive and it's ridiculous. And I feel like somebody needs to step in and get that under control so that it doesn't go above a certain price, because it's just ridiculous. It's like it to me just makes no sense. And I'm happy that I was able to give my clients the experience that I gave them, which was a great experience at a very good price, because our price was the prices other people was paying, and the price we were paying with meals included. Yeah. Yeah. So, we barely spent money out to eat. We had a chef. We had a lot of food, and we had our breakfast, and it was great. And most of the events was all inclusive, so we was not lacking when it came to food and drinks, and we had a great experience. All the events that we did was amazing. As for event experiences, my favorite event was duckwork and naked, as in the boat ride. So duckwork, naked, and picnic. Was it picnic? Yeah, I think picnic was really nice too. Besides the line and the pushing and the shoving of trying to get in, was a little, yeah. But otherwise than that, I had a great time at picnic. Picnic was nice. Yeah, and if you want to watch individual reviews of or recaps of those videos and content, it's on my Instagram page at Lovely's Travel. So you can go ahead and go on Lovely's Travel and you get to see those videos of the recaps of the events. However, guys, so this is my total review of Trinidad Carnival. Would I recommend it to other people? But hey, if you were like me, who was like, really wanted to experience it, really wanted to go, really wanted to have my own experience so I could come here and be able to share what I'm sharing with you guys now, then fine. Hey, go. Go. Definitely go. Hey, if you got money like that and you want to spend it, go ahead. If I ever go back to Trinidad Carnival, it will be because I'm working with a band and they pull me in. and they say, hey, lovely, I want to give you a better experience than what you had. So come and work with us, you know, and collaborate with us, and let's give you a better experience. A Trinidad Carnival, yes, I would go. Okay, so let me just say that. I would go if I did get the opportunity where a band reach out to me and say, hey, lovely, let's work together. Or I get a sewing contract and I go and sew. But as in like to bring people to Trinidad, like what I did as a travel agent, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. It was a lot. It was just a lot that I had to deal with. And all my other carnivals have never been that hectic, never been that much, you know. And Trinidad was definitely it. It was just a lot for me to deal with. So yes, okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, and follow, and tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye, guys.